Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Ask Me Anything session. I'm Justin, one of the co-founders here at SiteSwan. I'm super excited to do this with you today. We're starting a minute early. Oh, no, now it's 1 o'clock. And we are going to get everybody involved today. We are here to all participate and be a part of this discussion. I'm not just talking to you. We're interacting. We're asking each other questions. We're doing a back and forth here. To let you know how this is going to work, for those of you who are brand new, you're going to find a questions tab in the bottom right. It's a question mark inside of a circle. That's how you're going to communicate with me and my three moderators today. Anything you post in there will only be visible to myself and my moderators. It won't be visible to everybody else. That is so that you can ask whatever questions you want about any client you have, whatever your situation may be, and not feel like you're exposing anything about your business or your workings. Now, we will probably be able to get to all the questions that you guys post, but the people who have posted ahead of time, we're going to make sure you get to your questions first. To get things started, find the questions tab, say hello, let me know how long you've been with SiteSwan, and then I also want you to give me a win. And what I mean by that is that when we're starting or running a web design business, especially in the beginning, we have a lot of wins, a lot of things, a lot of accomplishments that we have. It could be as simple as watching the training videos or launching your marketing website. And for those of you who've been with us longer, it could be something more significant like getting a lead, getting a referral, winning a client, winning multiple clients. I don't know, selling someone on a marketing package, whatever it may be. I would like you to take a quick moment to let me know how long you've been with SiteSwan and give me one win that's happened since the last time you've done one of these. And if you haven't done one of these, a win since you began with SiteSwan. Okay, I'll take any and all wins in any shape, size, and color that they come. I will read them off without disclosing the first and last name of the person who said it, because we are a white label platform. We want to respect everyone's privacy. So Pam is saying hello. 7 years, it's going to be in August. Pam, it has to be longer than that because I remember you and I meeting. It had to be 7 years or more ago. 7 years or more ago. No, maybe no, it was within the last 8 years. So yeah. But that's amazing that you've been with us for that long and you have been killing it ever since. And I'm going to put a little pressure on you, Pam. I think you have a couple of emails in your inbox asking you to do an interview with me, and we haven't heard a response. I remember last time everyone getting really, really excited that you were going to do an interview with me. And then, I don't know, something tells me maybe you've changed your mind. Janet is brand new. Hi, Janet. She's been with SiteSwan for exactly 1 day and is working on 2 websites. Janet, that's awesome. I know you submitted a question. We're going to get that question answered for you. Kevin says, I've been here since September of 2025. And a win for the week is selling a website for a wedding venue. Oh, yeah, I know a thing or two about that wedding venue. I've seen that. And everyone else is about to see it also. Pam, it's Justin, not Jason. Everyone else is going to see that too in just a minute, because I'm going to showcase that theme because it's a killer theme, one that you helped us facilitate and make accessible to everyone else here on the platform. Scott is brand new, hasn't launched a site yet. That's okay, but excited to do so. That's why you're here, Scott. We're going to be able to answer any questions that you have about starting and growing your web design business or anything else about it. Mike's been with us for 20 months and sold a 3rd website to an existing client for his medical practice in New York, and then talks with his gym for a big social media package. That is awesome. You know, that's the cool thing about getting that's the cool thing about getting a client who has kind of potential to grow, is that when you are able to secure one deal with them, oftentimes they'll open up multiple locations and get multiple sites with you. Next thing you know, you got one client paying you several $100s per month for multiple sites. Not to mention any add-on services, like Mike said, for his gym or the social media package. There's more of you here than who have responded so far. So I want everyone else to get involved. Let's go. Let's go. Amina says, I've been with SiteSwan for 2 months. I'm currently working on designing a website for a bakery. That's cool. I also have a Zoom meeting next week who wants me to design a website for them for their strategic advising business. Sounds pretty cool. Denise has been here for a little over a year now and still excited to be on this journey. I would love to hear a win from you, Denise, if you have one. Scott's got a question. We're going to get to that. Anyone else who did not say hello yet, now is the time. Robert said, I've been with SiteSwan since June. Just completed my own website, completed and ready to get it live. Robert, I want you to make a commitment to yourself right now that you're going to launch that marketing website before end of day, before the weekend. You got to get it done. Let's go. Since June, haven't launched the marketing website yet? Today's the day. And you have questions about doing that. Now is the time. Let's get those questions answered so we can answer them so you can launch it. Valerie been with SiteSwan since March. She's got to win, but she's not telling me what it is. Matt is just smiling at us. Thank you, Matt. Doesn't tell me much about how long you've been with us or what your win is. I don't care how large or small your win is. It could be the fact that you had a dream about selling a website. I would consider that a win. Literally anything. Denise has got 2 possible clients signing up later today. That's awesome. That's a really great win. Valerie was mentioning that she's got a win, which is a mobile mechanic site. That's cool. And Laxmi has a question. We're going to make sure we get to that. Matt says, I sent you a question by email. Did you get it? We sure did. We got all the questions via email. We're going to be answering those. I'm just kind of curious if you have a win you want to share with us, or if you want to remind us all how long you've been with us. So this is the format that we start this conversation in, because it's really helpful for me to get a feeling on what the status is of everybody in this room today, so that we can make sure that we're delivering the type of content you need to further your business and make sure that you are you have every chance of success, finding success in the next day, hour, week, month, whatever it is. All right, let's kick this off with the first question that came through ahead of time. And I try to focus on the people who are actually here. So I'm going to focus on the questions that have come through ahead of time of the people who were here. I'm going to do my best with that. Sometimes I mess it up. Please bear with me. Here we go. The first question is not on my screen right now because it's screwed up. Hold on. There it is. The first question that we got ahead of time is from Donald, who I didn't see say hello to us, but I am very eager to answer this question because I think it's something that you guys might find helpful, especially if you watched a video I recently posted about asking for referrals from your clients and giving them a free month. So Donald's like, hey, what's the deal here, guys? I want to skip a payment for one of my clients to give them a credit, a referral credit. They sent me a website client. I want to give them a credit of 1 month free. How the heck do I go about doing that? What do I do? So I have 2 methods for you, okay? I'm going to focus on the first one, which is built into the platform without doing anything else. Your active client, you're going to find them and you are going to take 2 actions. The first one is going to be to go to the view or manage the subscription. You're going to cancel the subscription. Everyone on Instagram's like, I can't see anything. That's because I don't have my screen turned on for Instagram. Sorry. You're going to cancel your subscription, and then you're going to reinstate it with the next date that you are going to charge them. Here's the caveat with this, okay? I'm just going to be frank with all of you guys. Here's the caveat. The caveat is that you can't start a subscription again or reactivate a subscription more than 30 days in the future. So what that means is that it's pretty much got to be like the day of that you can do all this action at the same time. So like if their payment is due on the 18th, you could technically cancel it today and then reinstate it for next you do it for the 17th of August. It's not a perfect solution, but it's something. Now, the best way to do this is actually to log directly into Stripe. So if you're charging your client via our client billing platform and you want to give them a free week, you can actually override whatever is happening in the dashboard by logging into Stripe. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Are you ready? Yes, you are. From within Stripe, you're going to find what's called the product catalog. And in the product catalog, you are going to create a coupon. See how it's got products, features, coupons? You're going to click coupon. You're going to click create coupon. You're going to name this coupon whatever you want it to be. So in this case, I'll have a $99 referral credit. So that's what I'm going to call this because I'm charging my client $99 per month. And I'm going to make it a fixed amount, make that amount $99. And then I'm going to, everyone could see this, right? Just to make sure everyone who's on the live storm session can see this. Yes? If not, someone scream at me. So we're going to set the duration for just once. This is a one-time compensation that we're offering to the client. And then we are going to simply click create coupon. So once this coupon is created, now we can apply it to an actual client subscription. So what you can't see right now is I'm going to go back to my subscriptions. I'm going to find a client who is currently paying me that $99 per month, and I'm going to locate their subscription. What I'm going to do is click edit next to their subscription. And then I'm going to go down to where it says add coupon. I'm going to find this option to add a coupon. I'm going to locate the coupon that I just added, $99 referral credit. Click that, click submit. And now you're going to see my next invoice is going to be $0 on August 14th. That is how you can do it. Just make sure you update the subscription. It'll lock it in, save it, and you're good to go. So the process is log into Stripe. You're going to create a coupon if it's not already there. You are going to then apply it to any subscription that's active, and you're going to then assign the discount, take it off, and they will not owe you the $99 for the next payment. Hope that was helpful to anyone who is actively seeking referrals from their website clients to get new clients. That is the name of the game here. We all want to be able to turn one sale into multiple sales by simply asking for a referral. How would you do that? You'd say, hey, by any chance, you would say, can you please introduce me to one or two people who would need the type of website I built for you? You're not going to ask if they know anyone. You're going to ask for the information for someone. Who in your network do you think would be interested in a website like the one I built for you? And then they are going to introduce you to someone. And that's how you'll be able to turn one client into multiple. It works very, very well. All right. Next up on our questions. All right. So we had 2 questions about this come up. And this is about ADA. And I see Boris is signed on. We have someone else who asked about ADA, which is who asked about it? I just want to make sure I acknowledge everyone who inquired. Robert C. No, not Robert C. Rashad asked about ADA compliance. So here's the long and the short of it. ADA compliance is a complex, lots of gray area kind of situation. There are a lot of things that can be deemed ADA compliant and non-ADA compliant, and there is no way for you to outright guarantee that the site that you're building for someone is going to be ADA compliant. We're playing a constant cat and mouse game with all the seems like shifting rules sometimes that have to do with ADA compliance, and matching them up with all of the additional features that we're adding to the platform to make sure that everything is compliant. So what's cool about it is that the vast majority of the things that ADA compliance looks for are going to be the things that you can manage yourself. Like some of the biggest issues that pop up are like contrast issues. So like if you have a medium blue on a dark blue background, that's not going to be the best for contrast. And there are some really cool contrast checkers. Like if you just Google contrast checker, you can match the 2 colors you're using for your text versus your background, and you can get a quick assessment on whether it's suitable for proper contrast. Other things like alt tags for images are important. You can modify alt tags, which is going to be a text description of each and every image that's on your site. That's going to allow screen readers to be able to read off what the image consists of. So a lot of these things you can do, they can take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. And that's one of the things that I've seen some of our resellers begin to do is kind of introduce, hey, would you like to take the next step in ADA compliance and actually modify their pricing or increase their pricing for that matter to accommodate, to do what's best for ADA compliance? What we have heard time and time again is that the people who are out there like actively seeking to attack businesses for not being ADA compliant are having the least amount of luck with companies who are making an effort to make their site ADA compliant. And again, because it's a gray area, there's really no yes, it's compliant or no, it's not. It's more of like it is, but or it isn't, but there's always some gray area. So what the people who are attacking, I would say, small businesses with ADA compliance are having the least amount of luck fighting against businesses who are putting in a good effort to do something to make their sites ADA, I would say, easier for people with visual and hearing disabilities to navigate. So there are some things behind the scenes, like built into the site, that are necessary that you just don't really have control over that we handle for you. Like the ability to have a target where it's like you use a keyboard to navigate through the entire site instead of a mouse and things like that. But the checkers that exist out there for ADA compliance are also less than perfect. A lot of them do work okay, but they're not always so great at telling you exactly what to fix either. So it's a very frustrating spot to be in right now in this time. It's kind of the wild, wild west with ADA compliance. The best thing I could say, if it were me, and we do this like when small business clients come to us, is we will talk to them about an ADA compliance widget, which is again showing that you are making an effort to make the sites more accessible for people with issues. And we have a couple of different examples of, oops, hold on a second. I just had a Zoom meeting. I didn't know what was happening. I'm just going to close that out. It's like, do you still want this active? I'm like, I don't know. What is that? Um, you, um, so one of the things I've done for my clients is I've added the ADA compliance widget. So there's two of them, like one's from Accessibility and one's from Userway. I'll sometimes switch off with those and add that to the site. Is it going to fix everything and all things about the site? No, it will not. But it does show a good faith effort to make sure the site is more accessible for people with issues. And then I'll be sure to add some alt tags. I'll be sure to make sure that all of my my not my resolution, but my contrasts um, are sufficient for people with, again, the visual issues. So that's what I would focus on first. So just to fill in the blanks for, I see Janet's asking, what is ADA? It's the Americans with Disability Act. And what it states is that when you are building a website, you should be mindful of people who have some visual and hearing impairments, and make your website as suitable as possible for people with issues to navigate easily. So that is the name of the game. There again, we're still in the beginning stages of what's going to be, I think, a really long interaction with the ADA compliance. Like, one of the things I always question and kind of sort of like laugh about is like, so I get they're doing this for the right reasons, right? Like, the people who are advocating for people with disabilities are doing it for the right reasons for the most part. Like, they want to be able to allow anyone and everyone, regardless of their issue, to be able to navigate the web seamlessly and effortlessly. And I get that, and it's great. But it's also feels a little odd to me sometimes that, like, there are screen reader tools and all these other things that are marketed directly to people with these visual and hearing disabilities. It's like, why can't those applications of sort be able to identify the image and describe the image to the person? Why is it up to the alt tags that the web developer inputs to be able, like, those alt tags actually started out as being things that are optimized for search and not so much things that are optimized for people with visual impairments. So that's the always thing that questions. Like, I think we're like so close right now to just the softwares that the people with disabilities are using to navigate the web to just get exponentially better, and to be able to take whatever exists online and to be able to effectively display that in a way that people with hearing and visual disabilities will be able to experience to its fullest. That's where I feel like the biggest opportunity is, to rely on all these different web developers from everywhere around the world to be able to, keep the sites ADA compliant. Is a, it's a tricky situation. But we do have a nice article on, and if anyone's asking about that, you just type in ADA, and I think we have an article that talks about some of the things that you should look out for and just be mindful of when you're building sites to make sure that you are doing a lot of the things that the Americans with Disability Act groups are asking for and wanting for the people they represent. The next question that we have is from Janine. And Janine says, for sites I've designed, when searching on browsers, they're only showing up if you put the actual URL address in, not just searching, for example, electrician near me, or even using electricians in the actual city name. What's the best, most efficient way to set up SEO and make sure it's working? It's a great question, Janine, and something that is, I think everyone's going to experience at some point. So first thing I'll say is this. First of all, you need a little bit of time, okay? And by that, I mean, when you launch a site on a Monday, you can't expect that the site's going to come up for all the different search terms possible on Wednesday. It's just not going to happen, okay? Search engine optimization takes a bit of time. But with that said, it's important that you're keeping some basic SEO things in mind when putting the site together. So let's talk about this. We have something called the SEO checklist, which is going to walk you through the principles of making sure that your clients' sites are fully optimized for search. So we got this PDF here that you can go through And I would highly suggest that you do a bit of an audit for your first couple of clients. And then once you do that using this checklist, you are going to find this stuff is just going to come automatic to you. Okay. The checklist is designed to optimize the likelihood that your clients are going to come up for every single term that's reasonable for their industry in their market. And that's the name of the game. We also have an article in our support center on this as well, which if anyone needs it, we'll just send you a direct link, but it is available from the resources section of your dashboard. Let me go to our help center and just type in SEO, and you're going to see we have the SEO checklist. It's right here. So you have two spots to get it from, and you can do exactly that. So Janine, I'm curious now, the electrician client or whatever it is that you launched, about how long ago did you launch that site? Because sometimes it is just a waiting game. The cool thing about building sites on SiteSwan is that every single site that you build, so long as you're working off of the themes that we have, which there's over 400 of them, will be very well optimized for local search. In fact, there have been many SEO companies who try to pitch SEO services to SiteSwan website owners. So like the small businesses who have sites on SiteSwan. SEO companies will try and pitch them services and they can't. They can't because they can't find enough gaps in their SEO to actually warrant a pitch or a service add-on. So it also begs the question, well, how am I supposed to sell SEO if the site's performing so well without me selling them anything? Yeah, sorry. That's one of the things that sometimes makes their life a little bit difficult for our resellers when they want to bump up the amount of money they're charging their clients. But there are things you could do outside of just like what we call on-site SEO, which can be very beneficial. I mean, you can go the extra mile and do blog posts. You can get onto their Google business profile. You can optimize that for them. You can get on social media for them. You can find backlinks and get all this other stuff. But when it comes to like on-site SEO, there's probably very little that you'll really have to do above and beyond what the platform allows you to do to fully optimize for search. So Janine, if you are here and you want to offer any additional details about that, I am more than happy to be able to look at that with you and maybe analyze it a little bit one-on-one. Pam says, does SiteSwan do alt tags for new website themes? Yes, we do. We do add the alt tags in. All right, so Linton says, my client is considering expanding to a second city. How would surfacing two different cities under the same brand be handled? So Linton, my first question is, are they setting up a second location? Is it a direct extension of the brand? Is it a second physical location? Is this a physical type of business, or is this a service type business where they're just willing to drive their vehicles a little bit further? So that'd be my primary question before I effectively answer this. I'll probably answer it if I don't hear from you, I'll probably answer it in both scenarios, but my priority would be to address exactly what it is you're dealing with this particular client. So I'd love to know an industry, if they have a physical location or not, if they're setting up a second location. Those are the things that would dictate how I answer this question. So I'll just start answering it assuming you don't know. So if they have a physical location, they want to add a second one, there's an option to add multiple locations to the bottom or the footer area of the website. And that's probably the most effective way to introduce a second location, add it to the site. However, I've seen companies have take on a different kind of personality with their second location. They might even call it something different, which I never understand, but they do that. If that's the case with your client, I don't recommend keeping the same site. I do recommend setting up a separate site for them. If there's anything significantly different about the second location, the types of customers they serve, a branding thing, I don't know, then I would recommend you get a second site set up for them so you can have a totally different online presence, one for each location. Okay. Now, if that's not the case and they're just a service-based business looking to expand, then I would start to introduce service pages for different markets. So if they're going to go into one or two other cities, what I would do is create pages on the site that talk specifically about those cities and the services that are being offered by this company in those cities. It's a clever way, without tricking the search engines, to be able to discuss the types of things that the company offers and how they offer people that thing in a different market. So I would treat it almost like an additional homepage So you'll create these additional homepages for the different cities, listing out all the services as if it were the homepage, and put links from. I would like put them on like the footer. I wouldn't put it in navigation. I'd put it in the footer or somewhere embedded within the homepage with a link to those individual service pages. And that's going to help the site start getting results in that other city that's not their quote unquote home city. But be warned, okay? You can't trick Google. And what I mean by that is Google will reference the business's primary physical location because after all, businesses are generally best at serving their local clientele. So they're not going to start prioritizing a business that's 35 miles away over here when there are really good options over here who are willing to serve these customers in this market. You can't see my other hand, but it's over here. So that's just my little bit of warning to you. Despite the fact that you could do this and it can work, there is also a chance that it won't be hugely successful because of a great population of businesses who are doing a good job servicing the market that you're looking to get into. Next question. And by the way, Linton, I would charge for that. Okay. I would charge probably about $100 per page for each of those other cities. If they do have a wide variety of services by some chance, I would maybe try and sell them multiple pages for each city. So you could talk about, let's say, 3 primary services. You have, three primary services for the new city. That'd be 3 new pages. It's a $300 upgrade you can give to your client. All right. Next up, we have Mike. So, Mike, you brought up a question regarding the buttons on mobile, and there actually is a reason for this. And it's not one you're probably going to particularly like or care. But we will be digging into this next week. So for those of I'm not going to bother bringing it up because by the time I figure out how to get this screenshot up to everyone's screen, it's probably going to just be a moot point. But Mike C, I want you to know that we are looking into that. All right, Roberts asks, is there a CRM available to manage our clients as we start building our client list? There certainly is. And it comes in the form of a really cool Google spreadsheet that I'm now going to show you. All right. From your resources section of your dashboard, you are going to scroll down and you are going to look for the sales CRM template. And when you click this link, it's going to take you to a Google document that you will not be able to edit. You will not be able to edit this until you go file and make a copy. And you can even make a copy until you sign into Google. So sign in with a Google account, get that set up, then go to make a copy. And once you make a copy, now you can edit this. And the way we have this optimized is that if you're going to use our local prospecting tool and search for businesses in and around your area who need a website, you can actually download the CSV, copy and paste from there, and pop it right into this CRM. So I have used spreadsheets for CRMs for a very long time. In fact, I have this one CRM spreadsheet that's like 30,000 lines long, and it still works just fine. So I always gravitate to spreadsheets first. And when it starts to get too complicated to do that, then and only then is when you can upgrade or when you might want to upgrade to a CRM that's more proper. Okay. So use this first, beat the heck out of it. And when you find yourself unable to do the things that you feel like you need to do in order to grow the business, then look at investing in a CRM software that's going to allow you to, have other functionality built in. But along the lines, Janet asked this question, who's brand new, and she said, hey, my question's around a CRM and connecting the contact forms on the websites to them. What's a simple process for that? Like, how is the contact form connecting to an email? So let me backtrack because I'm not sure exactly what question you're asking, but I'm going to try and address it in every angle I possibly can. When someone when someone submits a form on a website, whether it's yours or one of your clients' websites, let me just pull one up to show you. You are going to, this is going to show up in the inbox of the email address that's been put in the destination email address field when editing this form. So this is part one. This is getting delivered to my inbox, and make sure that it's your inbox or your client's inbox who will be receiving this. So anything that someone types into this form, once they click submit, it's going to show up in the inbox for this email address. All right. So that's part one, making sure that's working properly. Now, part two is how do you effectively get that into a CRM? So I am going to introduce you to a concept that I'm trying to make as simple as possible, but it's going to require a tiny bit of playing around with. So the service that I'm going to recommend to you to use is something called Zapier. And Zapier is basically is a system that allows you to create rules that connects different applications to other applications. So the way this works is you would actually create a free account to get started. And what you would do is you would link up your Gmail account, which I'm assuming you have a Gmail account. If you don't, a Yahoo, whatever, there's compatibility for all these. And you are going to set an automation where it's going to, so long as the email comes from the email address that we send through the website, so long as it comes from that, that's going to be your rule. If I get an email in my Gmail inbox that comes from this email address, I want to send that data to my CRM spreadsheet. So then you're going to tell it to find your CRM spreadsheet using the Google login that you created, and display where designate where each individual field that you collected from the email form will appear on the spreadsheet. I might do like a private training on this just because I feel like some of you might really enjoy this. The thing is this, Janet, if it's for yourself, when you're first getting started, unless you're dumping a ton of money into ads, you're not going to get a ton of people, submitting information through your website. It's going to be something that you'll start to expect a little bit later on. You won't get in this abundance of leads where you're like, oh my, I'm drowning. I don't have time to copy and paste the 4 fields into a spreadsheet. You will. If it's for your clients who are having this struggle and they're telling you this, like, hey, I don't know what to do, then I would encourage you to reach out to our support and we can talk about that because, and here's a cool thing, okay? Sometimes when you're working with a client and they've got a CRM already, the CRM software could have a form builder built into it. So you actually create a form inside the CRM and then copy and paste the HTML, pop it into the site. And now every time someone fills out the form, it just instantly goes right into the CRM exactly where it needs to go. So if you're working with a client who's got a CRM set up already, the functionality is probably already there to do exactly what you want to do. And it wouldn't require any Zapier or anything else. It would just require a little bit of HTML you get from the CRM, pop it into the site, you're good to go. All right. Let's see. Let me just get this set up. All right. The next question that came up from Gallerol said, how can I prevent a potential client from accessing a website that was created for them and has been pending for a long time? I want to know how you got into the situation. Gallo says they haven't decided to move forward and a lot of work has been invested into the site. How did you get into this situation? Which could be repurposed for another client in the future. I don't want to delete the website, but I also want to restrict their access. All right, Gallerol, let's solve the first problem that you have here. The first problem, clearly stated in my head, is how the heck did you get into this situation? There are very few reasons, almost zero, why we are doing a ton of work for a client before we've been paid. Our sales process clearly states that the first step is to present the homepage design to the client. And at the conclusion of your presentation is when you accept the setup fee for the website. Only after you accept the setup fee do you start making further changes and edits to the website. If you don't collect money at that point in time, you are running the risk of getting in a situation where you're investing a lot into the site and there is nothing that's keeping your client engaged. They have no skin in the game. They are risking zero. And that can't be. You will be in a tough situation like you're in right now. But rest assured, what you're describing can be accommodated for. If this is a one-off situation and you have a really good reason why this happened, you can be accommodated. And let me try and help you with that now. So the first thing I would do is if I didn't need this site live, I would just take it offline. And the way I do that is I go into here, my site details page, I click edit, and I simply take it offline. Now, the cool thing about taking a site offline, like this one here, is that I can still edit the site. I can still access it as an administrator, but no one else can unless you're logged into the SiteSwan platform. Okay. So that's one thing. But I'm going to put it back online because we don't need to do this if we don't want to. The second thing you're going to see, I actually have already got a demonstration of this right now. What I'll do sometimes if I'm in your situation, I'll just add a bunch of X's to the end of the subdomain. Ain't nobody going to guess that. All right. So you've added a bunch of random characters to the URL, and now the URL you gave them doesn't work anymore. So they can't see it, and they don't know what you changed it to. They can't Google it or find it anywhere. So now you still have full access to this site. Do whatever you want with it. It is online, fully accessible for someone else to see. But simply, if you don't have this exact URL, you have no idea the site exists. Does that help you? But don't let it happen again. Don't get yourself in that situation, please. All right. Let's see. Oh man, did we just learn something from Mike on this? All right, let's see. All right. Let's go to the questions you guys are currently asking. I'm going to go from the first ones that came in and work toward current. So Scott originally wrote, does SiteSwan have written guidance regarding sales tax treatment? And we do not, because the rules of sales tax are different in every single zip code, basically. My personal experience is that there are very few areas that require you to charge sales tax on website design or maintenance or management, but I can't give a blanket statement, nor can we put together documentation that states that because it's an ever changing dynamic. So, what I would do is I'd reach out to a tax specialist or a local accountant, and it'll take them 5 minutes to answer the question. They probably won't even charge you for it. Like, hey, I'm a local business selling websites to other small businesses. I'm charging a setup fee and a monthly fee for maintenance and support. Do I need to charge sales tax? And it's usually a very easy yes or no question. All right, Laxmi says, how do I buy the domain and publish the website with it? So, Laxmi, there's a really easy way to go about this. And it's going to start with you securing the domain for your client. So if your client comes to you with a domain name, that's fantastic. Use that. Just get their login information, point the site live. If they don't have a domain name, or if this is for yourself, I'm going to recommend you go over to cheapandeasydomains.com and you are going to search for good options for domain names for their business or for your business. You're simply going to type it in this box and click search and see what happens. Now, what's likely going to occur is that maybe the number one name you had in mind is not available, depending on the industry and how popular it is. Regardless of if the best domain name is available or not, you are going to research 3 domain names that are currently available for purchase. And this is for your client. You're going to present them with all 3 options. And then you're going to ask them which one they like the best, and they're going to choose one. You're going to buy it. You're going to point it to the site, and you've just sold yourself a website. The reason we don't task our client with buying domain names is because it's one more thing they have to pay for. They feel like they're being nickeled and dimed. It's a logistical restraint that's going to delay the site launch. And there will come a day that one of your clients who brings a domain name to you, meaning it's their domain, they've already got it, they're going to point it to SiteSwan, everything's fine. The domain's going to expire and they're going to call you up screaming, why is my site down? What happened? No. Meanwhile, it expired because these registrations are only good for a year. It expired. They didn't know. They didn't update their card information. And now the site is down. Luckily, it's easy to recover, but they're initially going to always point the finger at the web person, not thinking, oh, maybe I should have checked to see if my domain renewed or not. So that's why if it's in your account, you're smart. This is your business. You are going to make sure all the renewals are on auto renewal and that your credit card is up to date. So you won't have an issue of these domains not renewing. All right. That was a long-winded answer of the fact that basically you're just going to buy the domain name for your client, ask them which of three they want, secure it, point it, you're done. Valerie says, I have a question. Fighting free AI sites clients stating I can do for free with AI. Ooh, I love this. I love this, Valerie. So what I hear you saying is you're pitching a small business and they say, I don't need you. I can do it for free somewhere else. First of all, nothing's free. Okay. I don't care what platform you're using, what AI, and what. There is no such thing as a website that lives for free online unless you have ads all over it, which I've seen a couple of times, for the provider, which is not very professional. And that's something you want to be doing. Probably not going to do very well in search. So, no such thing as free, number one. Number two, there's always been a way for a small business owner to build a website themselves. So, this is not a unique situation having to do with AI. This has always existed. Ways to build your own website have existed when we launched SiteSwan in 2011. There's always been a way. But there's two types of people in this world, people who are going to build a site themselves and do for themselves. And there's always going to be the other people who want someone else to do it for them. The funny thing is that there's a lot of people who ultimately want someone to do it for them, who think they can do it themselves. So the next time someone says, I can do this myself, you say to them, well, why haven't you already? That's the best thing you could possibly say. Why haven't you already? And watch what they say. Oh, well, yeah, I'm going to get to it. I've just been busy. I'll probably have it next week. Or whatever. Oh, next week? Fantastic. I would love to see how it comes out. Can I call you next week and you can show it to me? Guarantee you call them next week. They have made zero progress. And that's you say, look, I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but every day that goes by, a week in this case, are opportunities for your potential clients to go to your competition. Literally, I could have had your new site launched now if you said yes last week. I want to help you get online and stay online. I want this to be a hassle-free experience for you. I don't want you to have to do it yourself when you should be concerned about running your business, not running your website. I charge a fair nominal fee to maintain the website. You have access to me all the time. Maybe you want to just see my ideas for a website and then you show it to them. So, Valerie, that's my best suggestion on how to combat anyone saying they can do it themselves, regardless of how they're going to do it themselves. Would you really, the objection is, I can do this myself. Just like you can write your own legal agreements. But should you? No, you should not. All right, Mike is correcting me, and he's helping me out inside of Stripe. This is going back to, I forget whose question about offering the referral discount for a month, for a free month. He says that there is something called adjust credit balance on the client subscription. And then you can add their discount, no coupons necessary. Fancy, Mike. Very, very fancy. I guess you've had to do this a couple times, huh? You've been so busy collecting referrals from all of your clients that you found a better way. I'm going to see if I can pull this up again and demonstrate what Mike said. Because, guys, this is going to happen to you. You are going to get an opportunity to get a referral from someone, and then you are going to want to compensate them or thank them for that. So let's see. When I'm editing let me put this on the screen so you all can see it. I got to find this first. Where the heck is this feature? Hold on. Where the heck do you see that, Mike? Adjust credit balance? What? Oh, shoot. It's over there. All right, let's see if we can do this. So when you are logged into Stripe and you've got a client account hooked up, you can go up to here and go adjust credit balance. And when you do this, you can add a credit for the amount of, in this case, we'll say 99 bucks. And now this will zero out their next bill. Very good, Mike. No coupons required. The one cool thing about having the coupons is you can count how many have been redeemed. So you can, if you ever wanted to be like, hey, how many referrals did I get this year? How many months did I compensate people for? And you can look at your coupon statistics and see that. But this is cool. You can pull an internal note about it, like why I'm doing this, who referred me, blah, 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 and then apply it to the credit balance. And then I'm assuming it should take it off of the next subscription automatically. Am I right about that, Mike? I think I am. I think I am. Yep. Cool. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for that. Everyone give a thank you to Mike if that is something that you have that's crossed your mind. Shoot, this is a great. So Mike is also giving you can tell Mike is a bit experienced with cold calling. Regarding the I can do this myself with AI, Mike says if someone says that, just say, hey, out of curiosity, do you value relationships? Do you value relationships with humans or robots more? And he says that makes them look stupid. Yeah, I mean, that's an approach. That's an approach. You definitely could do that. All right, let's see what we got next. We got someone on Instagram submitted a question, asked me to rate their site. It's just AI slop. So I'm not going to bother. It's just AI slop. All right, Adam says they're a non-client, clearly. We shut the live off because too many things to look at. Adam says, I've built 8 websites so far. Congratulations on that. I'd like to see full live sites of sites you think went above and beyond with all the various tools and software offers. I've seen all the sample sites and resources, but I'm wondering how far people can push the limits on design using every tool/plugin. So, Adam, the best thing to do is to take a look at our sites of the week. Every single week, we send out a site of the week email, and those are some of the better sites on our platform. The only thing I'll say is that there are people who will use third-party apps and add-ons to sites, and we tend not to like feature sites that are flooded with those, only because it could be a little misleading or confusing for people who just want to see, what the platform itself can do. But the site of the week is probably your best chance at seeing that. If you're not getting those emails, submit a support ticket, and we'll look into why you might not be getting them. But also check your spam just to make sure you might be missing them. All right. Denise says, is there any way to change the way the secure credit card link appears when the client opens it? I send it in an email with all the payment info that would be charged, but when the client opens it, it has no info on it, but our business name and a place for them to input their credit card number. That's by design, actually, Denise, so that people don't get distracted by anything else. They just put their credit card info and then click submit. Is this coming from a place of like, this is something you'd like to see done? Or is this coming from a place of the client has expressed deep concern? Because a lot of you are using client billing. I almost never hear this concern, but I'm open to hearing where this stemmed from so that we can maybe help figure out what can be done differently. All right. Okay, so we had a little bit of a mix-up, and I'm going to answer Denise's other question about the website performance report. So if you guys don't know about this, in the site details page of your dashboard, you can put in any email address, and the website performance report, which is a really concise, cool email that looks just like this. It's going to have an overview of what's happening on the site, most viewed pages, inbound links, traffic sources, all this cool stuff. It's going to appear to come from you, and it'll populate into your client's inbox on the first of every month. So Denise is saying, I have clients and my own agency receiving the website performance report, which you can do. You can put multiple email addresses in, but no one received it. So Denise, I'm wondering, was this the first time you input the information? And or was July the first time you noticed you didn't receive it? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this. Okay. We had a very odd thing pop up that we didn't know about until last week, which was that if there were two email addresses here and there was a space in between the commas, we weren't able to deliver to anything after the comma. Now, this is only true for July 1st emails. Something funky happened. It's fixed now. But I need to know if this you feel was an isolated incident for July 1st, or if you have proof that this has been an ongoing issue. If it's ongoing, submit a support ticket. We can help dig out. Maybe this email address has been blacklisted or something like that. But for if you're telling me you like just because you didn't get it because you're listed second after a space, let's just say I don't know, but just because you didn't get it doesn't mean they didn't get it. And I'm curious if you tried to confirm this with them or not. So I apologize to everyone who was listing themselves or another client as second with a space after the comma. That was a really weird thing, a little hiccup we had. It is resolved now. All right. Andre says, my client said to me, I want to build an upgraded edgier site. Can you please guide me on how to move the credentials like Stripe from one site to the other? Yeah, let's talk about that. So if you have upgraded your site, your client site, for example, which we've done many, many times for our small business clients, and you're like, all right, I'm going to set this guy up with a new site. It's been a minute. We're taking a different approach. I'm already charging him for the site. I want to just kind of take this subscription, move it to a different site. Show you how to do it. You click on the active subscription, and then once you're on this page, you are going to view or manage it, and you are going to transfer the subscription. So this will take the subscription you have for this site and move it to any other site in your dashboard. So everything is all the history of the billing, everything is preserved, but simply now attached to the new site that you built for them. All right. Henry says, I just left a 10:30 appointment with an adult daycare center in my area. They have another location in another city, a little over an hour away. Should I recommend two websites or one website and add a tab for the second location? I'm going to restate what I said earlier. If the second location is identical in services and vibe and branding as the first location, you can use just one site. The moment they start to have different social media profiles, the moment they start to accept different payment types or any little divergences is when I generally recommend that you get a second site set up. If the second location is in a completely different area, like it's beachfront, for example, and they want to highlight that, you might want to have a second site so you can focus on that thing that makes that second location very, very unique compared to the first location. So I would, if you need help assessing this, submit a support ticket and explain in as great a detail as you can how these two locations differ. And we will give you our honest feedback on what would be the best practice to accommodate them. Garrel says, what is a reasonable price to charge a company on a monthly basis to upload pictures, announcements, etc., on their website? So, Gallery, one of the things that you're going to be charging your clients for that monthly recurring service is you making updates to the website for them. Now, of course, it has to be within some reasonable, within reasonable, what am I trying to say? What's the word I'm looking for? Reasonable expectations, reasonable. Gosh, what am I trying to say? The requests have to be a reasonable amount of editing that has to get done on a regular basis. So what I mean by that is like if they say to you, well, Gallery, I'm going to be sending you 15 new photos every single day. Or if I'm going to be sending you daily announcements that need to go up onto our site, what I would suggest is you get a feel for what the first 3 or 5 days is going to look like. So be like, hey, do me a favor. For the next 3 or 5 days, send me what you would be asking me to add to the site so I can properly assess what I would need to charge to accommodate you. And if it's like bing, bang, boom, 10-second changes, maybe you're not going to adjust your price. It's going to stay the way it is. But if they're any more than that, you'll probably say, all right, if I have to commit myself to being accessible to them every single day of the week or whatever the case may be, I'm going to need more money for that. And you got to figure out what's right for you. If you're always in front of your computer and you don't have a social life and that's all that you like to do anyway, maybe it's going to be a smaller amount. But if it's really difficult for you to carve out time to be making these types of updates to the client site, you're probably going to charge them more. Let's be frank. It has to do with, making, you got to make sure that your time is worth it. You got to know the worth of your time. Scott says, what exactly does the customer own and what happens to the website and the content if they cancel? So, what I always recommend you tell your clients and assure them of is that they own all the content and all the images on the site. So, if they ever wanted to part ways with you, they can take all of that and have someone else rebuild the site for them. Beyond that, there's really not much more you can offer. Like other website building platforms, SiteSwan is a proprietary website building platform. So, it's not like we can take what was built here, make it portable, and just upload it somewhere else. It just doesn't work that way in the web design world. Plus, and this is just a reality of the website industry, I've taken over hundreds of websites from other providers previously, and not once has someone said, I love everything about my site and I want you to create it exactly the way it is right now. Never. Never. So the likelihood that they're going to say, I want to move my site and take everything exactly the way it is probably not going to happen anyhow. And plus, a skilled web designer on the other end of things will know how to copy and paste text from the site, download images from the site without login access, and they probably won't even ask you for anything. So this is a question that usually comes up from people who are just getting started because they're worried about what's going to be how is this relationship going to end if and when it does one day. And the truth is that the way that relationships generally do end is that they are going to say, I have found someone else that's going to be handling my website for me. I'm going to be canceling in 60 days or whatever the case may be. I'll tell you how you can avoid that. Have regular conversations with your client every 90 days. Make it a religious experience. Every 90 days, you're going to get on the phone with them, talk about what has evolved in their business. Be a good listener. Okay. Talk about what's changed. Ask questions. And you are going to build a rapport with them that will be very difficult for them to break. You build this 90-day cadence, they're not going to want to cancel just because they have someone to talk to about their business and how things are changing and feel like they're being heard. That alone is going to keep them locked in for even longer than if you never called or spoke to them. Laxmi says we are just being started with just 2 weeks and we feel a little bit confused and overwhelmed. I got one client and working on it. Well, Laxmi, tell me what you're confused or concerned about. I'm more than happy to assist you here. And we still have a little bit of time left. If we have to go long, we will. Matt says, let's see. Oh, that's right. Matt had a question that I want to get to. And, this is something that we've often had um, an internal discussion about. And I want to do what's right for everybody. But I'm kind of curious here. Matt says, where is that? I'm going to read exactly what he wrote to us via email. He says, is there anyone else in the group who'd be interested in pairing up with another SiteSwan business owner for regular accountability, idea sharing, and practical day-to-day support? So what Matt wants to know is like, hey, who is interested in being someone who is going to make themselves accessible to another SiteSwan reseller and be able to interact and put our heads together and do stuff like that? So we don't have anything formal like this, Matt, and I think there's probably very few people in this room today who have done what you're describing. The cool thing is that I'm actually kind of curious. I'm going to launch a poll about this, matter of fact, right now, because I'm kind of curious what you all think. And when it comes to interacting with other folks, Which of the following would you prefer? All right. I'm going to put this poll out there, and I'm going to include an other. And if you write other, I want to know what it is that you would like to do. Because obviously, I want to do this in a controlled environment in a way that's safe and somewhat public for everyone. So I put up this poll. I want you all to answer it if you're able to, please. When it comes to interacting with other SiteSwan resellers, which of the following would you prefer? Would you prefer a Facebook group? Would you prefer a school group? Would you prefer group Zoom meetings? Think of this like cohorts, like you'd be matched up with other people who started about the same time you did, and they have about as much experience on the platform as you do, that you could be paired up with. Which of those sounds like the most appealing to you? Go ahead and submit that poll for me. Matt, I'm sorry it took me so long to get to this question. Pam says I missed the camaraderie. I'm assuming you mean in contrast to working in a traditional employee environment amongst other coworkers. So I totally appreciate that. Denise says I've been asking for a Facebook group. Come on. Let's see. All right. So let me just look at the poll. Have you guys submitted it already? Yes, you have. So the vast majority of you so far look like you're favoring. Well, I'll let you guys finish up. There's still 10 more people have to vote. Let's go, folks. Polls. Click polls in the bottom. Quickly, just give me one of those three answers. About 8 more of you at least have to submit an answer. I want to get as many votes as possible. Polls tab on the bottom. Polls, polls, polls. It's getting close. It's getting close. You can see right after you vote, you can see the results. A few more. Come on, who's left? Come on, come on, come on. There should be at least three more of you putting in your vote. All right. Well, I'll deal with what we got here. All right. So 60-40 breakdown. Facebook group over group Zoom meetings with a cohort of people who have started about the same time you have. So there we have it. You guys are favoring Facebook. No one gives a hoot about school. Okay, cool. There we go. Facebook took a larger lead, 62-38 now. Cool. Cool. Robert, you're the only one who prefers school. You got to put it in the poll, please. And who said other? Put that as a question. What your answer is for other? Whoever put other, let me hear your answer. I'm just curious what that other is. If it makes everyone go, oh, I want to do that too. All right. I'll answer these two questions. Oh, Matt just prefers a phone. All right. So Matt just wants to do the old school, let's talk on the phone thing. All right. Well, the cool thing about being in a Facebook group is obviously you can connect with people and, get their phone numbers and, instead of being at the mercy of who we match you up with, or whatever the case may be, you could choose who you might want to connect with by being in the Facebook group. I'm going to answer these last two questions before we hit the road here. The first one is, how does reputation management handle negative feedback, and what claims should I avoid? So the cool thing about the reputation management platform, Scott, is that it's a two-part service, as a lot of you probably already know. You get a report that's sent to your client every single day, week, or month. That's your control. And it looks something like this, tells you all the most important information about their online reviews. The second part is an intelligent review request form, which is going to go on your client's site and lets them say, I had a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5-star experience. They're going to insert what happened, their name, their email address, and click submit. Once they click submit, This is not just going to go live on the interwebs. If it's a 1, 2, or 3-star review, it is going to be, the client's going to be offered the ability to have further direct private communication with the business owner to express their concerns and go deeper on exactly what happened. That benefits everybody because number one, they can get their issue they can be heard and get their issue hopefully resolved. And the business owner obviously doesn't want negativity out in the world. They want to be able to solve the problems that their clients have. So that's a real cool benefit when you're talking about negative feedback. That's a great way to handle it. If it's 4 or 5 stars, we kind of skip that step and just go right to, hey, why don't you tell the world about the nice things that happened with this business, post it on Google, Facebook, Yelp, whatever. And then the other question we got was from Laxmi, and Laxmi was like, hey, how to connect on social media, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, add it to the website, and also change the address of the owner in the group in the Google business search. As previously, the owner business has moved from Pensacola to the Cherry Hill area. So when you say owner in the Google business search, I'm a little confused by that. Brian, why don't we set up a support ticket for Laxmi? I want to be able to address all these issues one-on-one to make sure that there isn't something falling through the cracks here with this site. So yeah, that'd be my 2 cents. So Andre, you brought up an interesting point. You're like, hey, I'm not sure if accountability is the right idea since we're all in competition. I don't view it as competition. I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to competition, right? Yes, to a certain degree, we're selling against each other. But gosh darn, I mean, there are so many businesses to sell to. There's 500,000 new businesses started every month. Like, as many resellers as we have, as many web designers as there are in the United States, they still can't get to everyone who needs a website. It is so highly unlikely you guys are going after the same people. It really is. I struggle with that. I struggle to really get fully behind the fact that you're all in competition and that you're not all in the same boat trying to find success together. There are, we're in different markets, we're serving different people, we have different personalities. People buy from people. They don't buy from businesses. They don't buy products in this industry. They buy from people. And like the types of people who would buy from Matt might be different than the types of people who buy from you, Andre, or from Amina, or from Pam. That's just the way that it is. What about the Swan Awards? Oh, ooh. So you want to know? So maybe people submit their sites, and we determine a winner every so often. Award site of the month, and then site of the year, perhaps. I like it. I like it. That could be something we could do. The Swannies, as Kevin suggested. I like it. Cool. All right. I'm on board with that. Tony Joy. Got it? Good. You take care of that? Awesome. All right. We are going to all right. We're past 2:00. We ran a little bit long. I don't mind that, but Pam wants to do an annual meeting away somewhere. Who's gonna fly? Who's gonna travel to attend an in-person meeting? Would you travel to an in-person SiteSwan organized event? There we go. Another poll for you guys. You can answer that one too. Would you travel to an in-person SiteSwan organized event? Valerie says yes. Do the yeah, Kevin would love to come to New York too. Kevin's a New York guy. Mark's in New York. Although I'm always looking for an excuse to leave New York, Mike's in New York too. I'm always looking for an excuse to leave New York, especially in the wintertime. Like, get the heck out of here. Go someplace warm like where Pam is in Florida. Pam's going to host it. That's what's going to happen. Pam is going to host it. Her backyard. Oh, Pam wants to go to Vegas. Oh boy, now we're making all these requests now. I see. Wow, the vast majority of you guys say, hell yes, I will attend an in-person SiteSwan organized event. Very cool. Valerie's an hour from Orlando. All right. Okay. Okay. Scott, let's get this answered for you before we wrap up. If there is a business niche that is somehow not covered in your over 400 templates, can one be built? Yes. So here's the protocol for that. So if you're going to build a site for someone, Robert's like, I'm on the West Coast. No. All right. I hear you. So this right here highlights a service we offer where for 99 bucks, you can get a custom website theme made for any industry. You don't have to pay for it, but you can submit a request for a custom theme by clicking this option up here, submit a request. And you can tell us exactly the theme that you want for the industry, and we'll add it to the list. But here's the problem. We got a lot of these on the list already, okay? And we try to get to them as fast as we can. But ever since that we rolled this out, where you guys can pay to basically put yours at the top of the list and get it done in 7 days, we've been able to get to very few of the ones that are not paid. And it's not because like we're playing a game with you guys. Like we are pumping out these themes as fast as possible, but we can only get to so many. So this will expedite it and put you up at the top of the list. So that's your answer. Hope it helps. So yeah, Denise, how many people are we talking about? A lot of people could potentially all show up while you're hosting it. You can do it in your house. Could be a lot. Could be a lot. There's at least, let's see, at least 16 people just who are here are saying, yes, I'm coming to an in-person event. So there's that. All right, let's wrap this up. You guys have been awesome. The next time we're doing one of these, as of right now, the next time we are doing this is going to be in 2 weeks' time. That could change, but as of now, we do have it on the calendar for in 2 weeks' time. It's going to be on the 31st. Another one of these, very similar style. So if you're around, mark your calendar now. You should get an invite that earlier that week. If you don't, that means we decided we had to move it. But as of right now, it is penciled in for 2 weeks from now. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate you being a part of this and being a part of the SiteSwan family. Anything that you took from today's session, please make sure if you wrote it down, do something with it. Like, don't just like file it away. Like, take the thing that you got from this session today and take action with it. Someone earlier said, I want to get my marketing site launched. Like, you got to do it today. All right. Let's do it today. Thank you so much. Have a great Friday. Nice weekend. Hope to see you again very, very soon. Contact support any questions. Book a call with Ryan if you haven't already. If you need one-on-one help in any way, shape, or form, we're here to help. Talk to you later. Bye for now. Cue the replay.